Hello, it is Aaron Rodgers, Tuesday, September 21st, 2021. Aaron joins us, AJ Hawk joins us, Aaron Andrews joins us. The boys are on fire. It's a great day to be alive. Obviously have to chit-chat a little bit about my appearance on Monday Night Manning. I had an absolute blast. Can't thank you enough for allowing us to penetrate your ear holes. Let's get to it. I want to make one formal announcement. I'm fucking back, dude.
Yeah!
Let's go, bro. Last night was awesome, obviously. Last night was a very cool evening for me. I got a chance to chit-chat with an old friend and a new friend on ESPN2 and tell some stories that are tried and true. I was basically like a pastor or a priest going to the Bible. And I'm saying that just because one particular reason. I've told a lot of stories throughout my life. There are a couple that have seemed to hit at all times. The Bible seems to be the stories that hit all the time. And the priest and the preacher's job is to tell the story in a different fashion. I haven't told some of the stories I got to tell last night in years. Did not know I was going to be telling them either. So immediately upon the question being asked, I'm like, oh my God, hey, it's great to revisit this Thanksgiving dinner. It's great to revisit this casino night. It was just, I had so much fun. I was so thankful for the opportunity. Obviously, Peyton and Omaha Productions had me over there. Eli is a legend. Great chatting with him on this show yesterday. And I hope, I have some behind the scenes shots, my wife, of me setting up and my thoughts going into it. I don't think there has been a time where a guest has come on that show where it has necessarily upped the quality of the show. There has been great clips that have come out from people, great quotes coming out of people, but the way that thing is set up with, 3 different locations basically, it's on a FaceTime like the show, and you could, if you didn't know Peyton like personally or Eli personally, I think you could be a little bit gun shy maybe, and if you're gun shy with a little bit of a lag in the tech thing, people are going to step on each other.
Oh yeah.
I literally went in there with the mindset, hey, I'm coming in guns a-blazing,
Yeah.
all right? I have the ability to be comfortable because I know both of these people rather well. I have some stories, but also I've been watching the last 7 guests, and it's like if you wait at all, it's over. We had a couple moments where we stepped on each other. I tried to get out of there. It was good times. I think overall, though, aside from the little tech things that people can maybe pick apart about this situation, it's an internet show happening on ESPN2 with Peyton Manning and Eli Manning. So there's going to be some tech stuff. I love that show.
Yeah, it's awesome. Incredible.
I fucking love it. I enjoyed the first 3 quarters when I was watching, just kind of seeing what was going to go on. I was going to do some callbacks to some things that he said earlier. The amount of football information that just spills out of their mouths in the middle of a game is insane. I mean, we all knew very early that the Detroit Lions were running cover 2, and the reason why they were running the ball is because the Detroit Lions were literally testing Aaron Rodgers on whether or not he would throw the ball or just continue to run it. We heard that the entire game from Peyton and Eli. Then they switched back to an interview with Aaron Rodgers on the field, and they go, hey, what happened on the office? Well, they're running kind of a cover 2 that entire time, so we had to be very patient with it. It was like, I feel like I got the entire game plan almost while watching it alongside Peyton and Eli, and if you're a football nerd, I think that show's only going to get better and better, and I'm so grateful to be watching it, and also and to be a part of it, but also incredibly grateful that I'm fucking back.
Yeah.
All right. Packers minus 11.5. The hottest people, the hottest prognosticators that I have in my life. Mitt went 5-1 this past weekend on Hammer Down. He said Lions plus 11.5.
Jeez.
AJ Hawk went 10-3 on the entire weekend against the spread. He goes, Packers will win. Lions plus 11.5.
What?
Everybody was basically saying that the Packers minus 11.5 was a classic Mush McAfee situation. I was putting it out there and everybody else was going to win. We covered, okay? It was close. I mean, Jared Goff threw that ball at the end. I was sweating rather handsomely.
Yeah.
I mean, it was coming down there. The over hits, a lot of points were scored. It was a glorious evening for me, and I can't wait to talk to Aaron Rodgers about it here in about an hour and 54 minutes or so. He has to be feeling pretty damn good. There was a lot of people attacking him all week. Oh, he's too nonchalant. He doesn't care. Why is he doing this? Why is he doing a show and so comfortable and relaxed? They just got shellacked by the New Orleans Saints in Jacksonville. And I think all he was doing is exactly what he does every week. By the way, look for the same exact human probably today on the show, and look for a guy who will probably understand that this was going to happen. He knew this was probably going to happen, and I can't wait to chit-chat with him. He did give a little, most of the things that are said in here is bullshit, though, to the media. I think that's a fascinating relationship I'm excited to watch grow, through the season. Yeah. The media people who are obviously potentially on the Green Bay Packers organization side, and they have to be, by the way, because if Aaron was to leave, guess who's going to stay there? the Packers will still be there,
Yeah.
and that media person will still be there. So they have to be on the Packers side. This is almost like Tom E. Curran up there in New England.
Yep.
Whenever Tom left and the Patriots are still there, Tom E. Curran was kind of sided. He was like, Tom Brady has some points here, and the Patriots did not hear that.
Yeah.
This is a situation that's going to continue to play out here. I assume Aaron and the Green Bay Packers are going to be able to get in good graces. There should be more communication. I think that is already happening in this entire thing, but that is a story to watch along as we go, because it feels like Aaron is at a point where he will just tell the truth. Like, well, I mean, a lot of you guys are cooking up a bunch of bullshit narratives in here, so it's all a bunch of garbage, is what he said. To some, there's obviously incredible media. I'm just saying, in some situations, it felt like that was how Aaron was. Aaron was being portrayed as a guy that didn't care about his team. He was jumping in waterfalls. He wasn't at OTAs. They lose 38-3. He's somehow not crying about it 2 days later. He's not upset about it, sweating about it, throwing a temper tantrum about it 2 days later. This guy doesn't even care. And then they just go beat the doors off of the Detroit Lions. I think he had like 2 incompletions at one point with 3 touchdowns. I mean, it was absurd there. Now, very patient. Obviously, Aaron Jones dominated. They found his chain, by the way, that had his dad's ashes in it. That's great news. At about 2 a.m., I think an athletic trainer went back out on the Lambeau and found it. Incredible story there. Aaron Jones, incredible ball player. The ball to Devontae Adams, and the ball to Big Bob Tunyon. And then listening to Peyton and Eli break down, like, why are the Lions doing this on 3rd and 12? You've literally been doing something different. Why on the most important play are you going to man coverage and then Devontae up and out? Right in the bucket. How you doing? I mean, it was a beautiful game. It was a great thing, and it feels like Big Mo is running back through my body right now. Yeah, and Big Mo. I'm talking about big momentum.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm gonna carry that into Thursday, then it's Saturday, then Sunday, and then Monday. And I ain't looking back. I'm doing this thing the rest of the season, I believe. I'm feeling maybe too good about myself. We're still a losing record on the season, but last night was a big night. The boys at Talks the Table here at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. At Ty Schmidt is an owner of the Green Bay Packers organization. To watch that team do what they did to the Detroit Lions last night, how'd that make you feel? It feels like the conversations of this team dying should at least subside for another couple weeks, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was to be expected. We said yesterday, hey, it's a get-right game. I think a lot of people would have been very, very worried if this one would have come down to the very end, but it's not overreaction Monday, so I'm not going to overreact. I mean, we knew the offense was going to be just fine when they kind of started getting their groove. Like, this defense stinks. And granted, they got, Zadarius Smith, arguably the best player out there, is hurt right now, but like, they didn't get any pressure on Goff all night, really. I mean, and people were saying, in the second half they looked better. I mean, Jared Goff, once the weather got bad or like the ball got a little bit wet, he just like couldn't hold on to it, fumbled a couple times. I mean, they got a couple pressures, but Kevin King, same thing as last year. It's tough to look at that and be excited. It feels just like the Packers teams of the past, where it's like they're going to have to score 42 to 45 points a game to win. Otherwise, you just can't rely on that defense to get stops.
It did feel like Peyton and Eli were maybe waiting for the Green Bay Packers defense coordinator to make a terrible call. And it did happen.
Yeah.
Now Peyton is obviously going to be very pro quarterback forever. He actually said that last night, like, hey, I'm going to be pro quarterback. He's playing quarterback for both teams on these Monday night games. So much so that I actually asked him, like, are you regretting now that you have to watch? Because his preparation is only one way, I think. Like, I think he only knows how to watch film one way, and that's like so much. He's preparing to be quarterback, I think, for both of these teams, and he'll find a nice groove in there. But I think what he realized with that Packers defense last week, he mentioned a couple times that Aaron and the offense were only on the field 12 times in the first half. They only had 12 plays, and defense couldn't get off the field. And obviously, Aaron wasn't making anything happen whenever he was on there either. But to play complementary football, you need defense to get the other team off the field. And the offense, you need a couple first downs here so everybody can get a good break. It's like one of those situations. They called some man coverage scheme at some time, and Peyton was just sitting there like, this is not what I would call. And Cole Kublik tweeted this out. I believe Diggs did as well, and a couple others. Listening to them talk, it's almost like they should be defensive coordinators. And this was kind of the Brandon Staley story over there at the Los Angeles Chargers, former defensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Rams, former quarterback for the University of Dayton. And they always say, well, he's a quarterback, but he also knows the defense.
That's right.
And it's like listening to Peyton and Eli talk about the defenses. It's almost like Peyton was like, this is not what I want to see in this situation. This is not what I want to see in this situation. Why are they not doing this, basically? It's almost like, how come quarterbacks, they always go to offensive coordinator? Maybe they should just think about a couple of these super football IQ folks and just put them super high football IQ quarterbacks. Be like, let's put you on the defensive side of the ball, see how this thing goes. Let them eat. You might not be able to relate to them as quickly, and you might not know all their terminology. You'll get it. You'll figure it out. And then just call what you wouldn't want to see. That was a fascinating take, and kind of what I think we all kind of seen from the Peyton and Eli cast last night, but they were sitting on the Green Bay Packers defense waiting to happen. They couldn't get a stop.
No.
I mean, Aaron was rolling, touchdown. Then Jared Goff would have a 7-minute drive or something like that. They'd score, and then it would go back 17-14. They're down. You know what I mean? And Aaron hadn't had a single, I think at that point, failed drive at all. And people on the internet were dancing like, oh, the Packers are dead. Aaron stinks. It's like, I don't think he's had an incompletion yet. Like, has this guy even, I think he had maybe 2 incompletions in the entire time. That defense is going to have to tighten up. I don't know if Joe Barry is going to be a guy who's going to be taking a lot of arrows this year, but I do know that Pettin did last year, and I'm not sure if Joe Barry is doing much better than him right now.
Well, and then I saw a quote that, like LaFleur, I think, at halftime went up to Joe Barry and said, either get pressure on Goff or, play better coverage, and that really lit a fire under his ass. Like, you hear stuff like that.
That lit up coaches?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't remember who tweeted it, but I just saw it. It's like, well,
I'm going to fucking coach my ass off.
That's what I'm saying.
And then second half.
And that kind of stuff used to happen with Pettin, too. Like, they'd come out in the first half and just look fucking terrible. And then LaFleur lights fire under his ass, and Pettin looked good in the second half. And then it's just, it's Groundhog's Day. It's just the same thing over and over. So we'll see.
They did look good.
They did. And part of that, was Jared Goff fumbling a snap and, like throwing a bad pick and, just slipping out of his hand. I mean, guys never practiced with a wet football before, it looked like. But outside of that stuff, I mean, you're not going to have guys shooting themselves in the foot week after week after week after week. So we'll see. They got to get much better.
Ball slipped out of Zito's hand this morning as well.
That's true.
Whoa, really?
That can't happen.
That wasn't a Duke, though.
It was that's what I'm saying. Like, it was a smaller, more rubbery, actually more grippy ball.
Well, it's because he had bacon grease all over his hands, too.
It was actually Whopper. It was Whopper mayo.
Anyways, I don't know if Goff.
Did Goff?
I don't know if Goff had bacon, grease, or Whopper mayo on his hands. But that ball did come right out. I'm sorry, Nick. What were you going to say?
Did he pat it out of his own hand? It looked like a QB sits and pats the ball. So it looked like he hit it and then it.
I think maybe his natural move is to hit it before he's going to throw it, and I think it was the suddenness of the move where you kind of
the pullback.
Yeah, and then you also squeeze. I think Kyler does this sometimes. When Kyler is trying to throw it harder, I think he grips it a little bit more and makes it come out as a duck. Like, I think anybody that's ever thrown a football knows that, the tighter the grip doesn't necessarily mean the better. That thing's so. And sometimes when you try to tighten a little bit, you can slip off there. But I'm not 100% sure. If he did just bat that ball out of his own hands, that's a good strip sack. That's a good strip sack. Get him into Robert Mathis' gridiron game, dude. Get that whole thing happen. I love to see it. They were very close to covering, though.
Oh, yeah.
Too close.
Yeah. I mean, they were very... DeAndre Swift started getting loose in there. And,
oh, man. Unbelievable. Can tell kids anything is possible now.
Those who got it. He started moving, and then Goff did the throw and everything like that. That was a real sweater for me at Boston Connor. What did you bet on last night, if I do recall?
Aaron Jones, 2 scores. I mean, in the first half. Going forward now, I know you got to sprinkle a little on 3+ touchdowns for Aaron Jones because that was plus 2,400.
What was the 2+ touchdowns for Aaron Jones?
Plus 480.
Yeah, plus 480. That's good payday.
Oh, yeah. Juicy.
Hey, we really hit that thing. That's a couple units, too, didn't it?
A couple units. That counts as 4 or 5 wins if you think about it.
Yeah, if you start doing the math, that's at least got to be it. That was a good office run there. Did not score. Jamal. What's that all about? MCDC didn't want to get him in the zone in Green Bay in his return there. I saw Aaron start targeting Randall Cobb pretty heavily in that one, and then they actually pointed at each other.
Good game.
Did that thing. He got hit.
Oh, yeah.
That was a tough hit. I don't know how that's going to go. Hopefully he's back there. But Jamal Williams, no tutties. What's going on with MCDC? He doesn't care about his players?
I don't know.
Because he could have ran that Aaron Jones play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sprint
off just doing the thing.
Can Goff run that play? I don't know. But
Goff's great at that play. McVay used to run that play all the time. The little touch pass thing.
McVay off. Oh, you're talking about the little. Oh, I thought you were talking about the rollout.
No, I'm talking about the little touch to Aaron Jones.
Yeah, run. Yeah.
You could have Jamal Williams do that at some point whenever the Green Bay Packers defense wasn't stopping anybody early. I mean, get Jamal a little payback, A little bit of Jamal on that back in your life, Green Bay Packers. What's that all about? Is MCDC not about the players?
Wow, that's wild.
I don't think we can blame this on MCDC. They just needed a touchdown in any way they could get it. And Cephas was on fire early, so you got one of him. Hawkinson's always in the end zone, got one of him. But
Hawkinson's very good.
Yeah,
he's
great catch.
He is very good. And, on that fourth down, that was really the game when they didn't get that fourth down. Hawk was wide open, but we just couldn't get it to him.
Well, I mean, you ever throw once in a while, it's a lot easier to see who's open on a sky cam.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's why Mike Glennon's been in the NFL for 14 years.
You guys talked about that golf fumble, and you thought it slipped out of his hand, but I, as a Lions fan, actually saw the Calvin Johnson curse come from the sky, bat that ball out so the Packers could have it.
Yeah, the Calvin Johnson curse is a real thing, and it is not being addressed properly.
It's not going anywhere.
I've seen that game from the Lions 1,000,000 times. They do that every single time. I said it to Ty. I said, hey, we're going to keep this close in the beginning. Everyone's going to lose their minds. And then Aaron will come out at halftime and score right out of halftime like he always does. We'll make a mistake, score again, game over.
You guys won and elected to receive, by the way.
Yeah.
So you actually asked for Aaron to get it in the second half,
He
which I can
always
respect
scores.
because if Aaron comes out, by the way, if that offense comes out that first drive and does exactly what they did, that place is probably going to be, not that it wasn't crazy. Lambeau packed again, by the way.
Looks good.
Good for you guys out there. Cheeseheads looks absolutely awesome. But he comes out there, he's going to do what he's got to do. So MCDC had to make a decision there okay, do we want get a big stop, man? Or do we take our offense out there and try to score? And they did well, by the way.
They look good.
But Aaron did come out, and it was
over.
Yeah, it was all she wrote.
Yeah.
You got Aaron Jones scoring 4 touchdowns.
Give me a break.
Big Bob Tunyon getting a laser beam to his arms in the end zone. Devontae Adams didn't get in the zone. They were looking for him a couple times, but he's still an absolute. It feels like the conversations of Aaron Rodgers thinking of football are over. But by the way, I think the Lions played a lot better than I thought they were going to.
Not bad team.
Man.
In the
lot of heart, man.
A lot of heart, man. Our team fight, man.
We could have got beat by 50, man. We
You
got
saw
beat
it.
by, 17, 18? That's
18,
pretty good, man.
Yeah, you could have. Aaron, he only got the ball 5-6 times. He scored every time, but
He's
man,
so fucking good,
it'd be
man.
great to have that guy. He's the best. What did MCDC say after the game? Anything?
That.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
guys
That was all
so
quote.
fucking hard, man.
At Tone Diggs, was a lot of money made last night or lost by the sports books? It felt like all the people that were like, maybe sharks do 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 do, maybe sharks do 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 do, maybe sharks do 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 do. There may be sharks. Feels like they were all in on Sharps. By the way, Zito is what we're going with. Sharks is the original song, unless you're talking about Jamie Tart. Jamie Tart, welcome back, by the way.
Yeah. Good
Real
to have him.
research. It is good to have him all in. You know what I mean?
Love that guy.
Love that guy. It felt like the Sharps though, were all like the 11.5 on the Lions.
Yes.
Am I wrong in thinking
Yeah,
that?
they did.
It felt like that was where a lot of the money
Well,
was
actually,
going.
the public was on them too. Was on the Lions as well.
Oh, really? So me in the sports books had a great night last night.
Yes.
That's awesome. What did you go on?
Devontae Adams over yards,
How many did he get?
100 and something.
Did he?
20 something. Yeah.
Did he not get it? He did get
Oh
it.
no, yeah. The over it was 80 something. So
Yeah. Devontae Adams and Aaron are always going to be good together.
Yeah.
Anytime you got two people sharing Instagram things like, hey, it's our last dance.
That's
right. Did you see the flyover video? It was amazing.
Yeah.
So Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams are standing next to each other. Flyover comes. That might have been the biggest fighter jet I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
It seemed to be about 53 and a third wide.
Wow. Little bomber.
Stealth bomber.
It looked like, maybe not 53, but because 53 and a third is how wide the field is. And as it flew over, it looked like it was the entire size of like the Jumbotron on the top. And it was one plane, and it was moving. And as it's obviously as the national anthem's ending, and the shot is just on Aaron and Devontae next to each other, and you see Aaron look up, and then the shot goes up to the thing, and then it comes back to Aaron, and Devontae like, man, that was crazy. And then they tap each other up and go, and it's like these two really like each other.
Oh, yeah.
These two really like playing football with each other. Like that is something that Andrew Luck and T.Y. Hilton always said. Like, hey, I like playing football with you. Like it is a lot of fun. And if you go back to like when you were a kid and you actually played pickup football and stuff like that, when you played with a guy that was so good or so much. If you were a quarterback or the wide receiver, it was so much fun. I'd never really think about that until I heard Andrew and Ty like say they enjoyed playing football with each other. That's really what it is. You know, it's just at the top level. Aaron and Devontae seem to be just like Gronk and Tom.
Yeah.
Same exact way. And I guess they're going to catch Peyton. We heard from Gronk. And Gronk, by the way, does not watch film. I just run by guys.
Yeah, which is insane to think that he lasted that long in New England with Bill just saying, yeah, you know what, fuck it. Just let him run by guys. He doesn't have to watch film. Go take a nap in the back, Rob. You'll be okay.
I fucking love it. I mean, this is nothing that you would normally hear from somebody, especially an NFL top 100 player of all time. Yeah, I don't really. And Peyton's head had to explode, by the way. I would assume that his head.
He looked mad.
Well, he did talk about the Gronk, though, did talk about the trap play, where it's a play action guard pull and then tight end release, and then you're basically just a gimme over top of the linebackers who had to bite because the offensive lineman pulled. And we heard that story both in the NFL Top 100 and the whole thing that has happened. And that's where Dallas Clark scored a lot. And then Tom took that up, and basically that is where Gronk has scored 90 touchdowns, I think is what Gronk said last night. But thinking about Gronk not watching film and just going up to Tom and being like, hey, is there anything I need to know this week or whatever? And Tom being like, okay, so the card's cover 2, you're probably going to do this. Sounds easy. Gronk win then. Right? And then just go and do his thing and dominate. That's amazing. And that makes sense on why when they traded him to the Detroit Lions, aside from the fact that it's the Detroit Lions and it's potentially Calvin Johnson curse, he was probably also like, whoa, I got a guy that tells me 4 sentences, gives me everything I need to know. He's greatest of all time, and all we do is win. I will retire right now. It makes a lot more sense why he will only. Tom Brady's my quarterback. He has said like numerous times, and it makes sense if that has worked so well, so much so that you become like greatest tight end of all time, and literally the only film you have is via another person telling you what to do. Like, hey, I only need to do a couple things. There's film surfacing on the internet now of obviously Tom telling Gronk to do different things during a play. One of the ones that was most obvious, he literally goes, Gronk, stand up. And then Gronk stands up, and then I think they throw a touchdown to him or something. Like, it is just, that's amazing. Shout out to Gronk for being able to do that. And I don't ever want to compare myself to Gronk or Tom Brady ever, but that's exactly how it goes with SmackDown with Michael Cole. And it is a dream. Like, hey, so Michael Cole is my play-by-play guy. I just want to let everybody know Michael Cole is my play-by-play guy, just like Rob Gronkowski said Tom Brady's my quarterback, and I think it's because of similar reasons. Now, I don't know if we'll ever have the success that they have obviously had. They're going to be the all-time leading connection in touchdowns, but it is really nice when you can just go to somebody who is the greatest of all time and just be like, hey, do I need to know anything tonight? Da-da-da and da-da-da. All right, perfect.
Sounds good.
All right, I'm just going to go out there and have a good time. It is amazing. So I can trust and appreciate the fact that Gronk is doing that at the fucking NFL level, at the highest level. Like, do I need to know anything? Cover 2, but the one guy's a little bit weak, so you'll be able to do that. Okay, thanks, man. All right, I'm out of here. And then they just scored touchdowns.
Yeah.
5 of them so far or whatever. No, is it 4 or 5?
4.
4 of them.
So 2 back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, 4. I think he had another one, though, that maybe was supposed to be 5, because I remember screaming to myself, does Gronk have 5 fucking touchdowns? Maybe he dropped one or something like that. Remember, there was people that thought he was, what did you guys trade him? 4th round?
3rd rounder, I
Third
believe.
round, which is
But
still
again,
pretty high, by the way.
and
Third
he-
rounder is still very high.
And he would only go to one place, so it wasn't as if there were any options for his highest bidder situation.
Yeah, and it wasn't like other teams even had the thought of, would you take Gronk? Because everybody would be like, yes, we'll take
First
him.
round pick.
Yeah, we'll actually have a guy watch film for him. If that's is that what this is going to take or whatever? Let's do it. I enjoyed that a lot, man. I just enjoyed last night a lot. I enjoy that Aaron and Devontae are always going to be a fucking tag team, it feels like.
Yeah.
And I would assume that whatever team, if there is another team, or if it's the Packers, if you get Aaron Rodgers' situation figured out, I assume Devontae Adams is going to be close behind.
Yeah, I think so too.
Let's get to a break here, and then on the other side, we'll have Aaron Andrews join us.
Hey,
Yeah.
Here we go.
EA will be joining us. Fox reporter. We've seen her on television for like the last. She was doing Thursday night football games. I just thought of this. Thursday night football games when our West Virginia team was on Thursday night every single night. Aaron Andrews was like in Morgantown like 3 weeks out of 6 weeks or whatever. She probably had to hate that or whatever. But she has been crushing it a long time. Can't wait to chat with her on the other side about Thursday night football.
Hell yeah.
Panthers gonna beat the hell out of the Texans.
Yeah, that's right.
We are a Texan show.
Oh, yeah.
But our guy, I think, popped his hammy out completely.
Yeah,
Tyrod Taylor.
couple
Not looking
weeks.
good.
Godspeed, T's and P's to the hammy and to Tyrod Taylor. We appreciate the hell out of you. And don't think just because you tore that hamstring that I won't need 5 push-ups from you.
Yep.
That's right. I do.
Maybe need 10 out of you. Love Tyrod, but also love the Panthers, especially on a Thursday night with who? David
Sills.
Davis Mills.
Davis Mills.
Davis Mills.
David Sills is the wide receiver.
There it is.
Hey, he's a player. That kid's out of West
He,
Virginia.
he can play.
Just like Arch Manning. Joining us right now is a man who, after the first week of this NFL season, came on this show, was relaxed, was calm. He said, hey, listen, this ain't a big deal. Relax, everybody. We're going to be okay. And ladies and gentlemen, he showed up on Monday Night Football in a big way. Not only getting a win over the Detroit Lions in front of the beautiful, faithful Cheeseheads at Lambeau, but also covering 11 and a half.
Hell yeah.
My fucking guy, all the way back, ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Ross. What's going on, dude?
I feel like at least one of you guys on the show didn't think we were going to cover. Is that right?
That was me. Absolutely. I thought for sure they would score a touchdown at the end, which they almost did to help you guys not cover. But I said the whole time, you will win the game, and you did.
Oh, way to go, AJ. I'm happy you heard that, though, because I thought it was a bit treasonous as well, Aaron. I thought it was a bit treasonous as well out of this guy.
That's all good. I love AJ, and at least he texted me back this week. It's, it's a rarity. So.
That is a real thing. I have trouble with that, too. And he's got to go play in the Ryder Cup right now. He won't even be at work the next 4 days, just like last week where he's at some yuppie event, eh, Rod?
2 days.
He's definitely changing a lot. You've seen AJ at one point tried to kind of hide as like the Homer Simpson, gif where he kind of disappears into the bushes. You thought that was going to be AJ, and now he's out there. I mean, he's a big media guy. He does podcasts. Now he's a big golfer. Anything, he basically, America's guest. Anybody that pays him, north of $350 or maybe a $50 Subway gift card, he's going to be there and show up to your event.
America's guest, AJ Hawk, a man who won the college football national championship, a Super Bowl champion, and he's about to be a Ryder Cup champion somehow. This guy with mangled fingers who can barely hold a golf club. I'm very thankful for him, as I am for you, Aaron. Last night, let's get this thing started. Going into the night, I think you felt pretty good about everything. The offense was very successful in the first half. Didn't have much time on the field. Then second half, you really got going. Was there anything different last night that you didn't feel last week, or was it just kind of an entire vibe going into Monday night, you think?
Just halftime adjustments, Pat. Halftime adjustments.
We talked about that last week.
No, it was one of those disjointed first halves again. Like last week, we had really 3 possessions. We scored two touchdowns on those, so we felt good offensively about what we were doing. The biggest drive of the game was obviously coming out of the first half or second half and hitting Devontae that kind of got us going. To have our first lead of the season finally changed things. They came down, and we stopped them on 4th and 1 and went down and scored to go up 2 scores, and that's when the game definitely changed from that point. So those were the throw to Tay was probably the turning point in the game. Hit Bobby later on the drive, but that play was the play that got us going.
Hey, what about your throw to Tunyon up the seam for the touchdown? Peyton lost his mind. I was watching the old Peyton cast. Pat was on there. That throw obviously seemed perfect, and the linebacker's back was turned. Do you feel like if a guy's back, if his head is looking away, then it doesn't matter how tight he is, like he's open, you can put it somewhere?
Yeah, if I can see his numbers, I feel like our guy's open, just because it gives you a lot of different places to throw the football. Over the top, back shoulder, kind of over the guy's shoulder if you want. You can put a little air on it if the safety is a little wide on the play. So I was really just looking at the release of Bobby, and then what the safety did. I had Devontae one-on-one backside, was really where I wanted to go pre-snap. They were playing some two-shell, but the safety wasn't necessarily getting a ton of width at the snap, even though they were playing outside leverage on Devontae for much of the game in kind of a double. But at the snap, the safety kind of moved slightly to his left, so then I looked to the front side to Bobby, and that safety stayed outside wide. So I knew I had a good chance at putting the ball on Bobby, and I threw it kind of exactly where I was hoping to.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, kind of exactly. Watching Peyton react to that ball, it was awesome because Peyton was a guy timing, everything had to be exactly where, the routes had to be practiced, and that was like his thing, like, hey, I'm going to drop it in this bucket. Watching him react to that laser beam that you put to Big Bob Tunyon was awesome. As you're throwing that ball, are you thinking to yourself, oh, there's like fucking 3 humans in the history of Earth that can make this throw that I'm about to do right? Do you think about that, or is that not even in there? It's just like everybody's open because I can put it wherever the hell I want. Do you even think about that at all, or no?
No, Pat, I don't think that there's only a few humans who can make this throw right before the throw. I might be thinking I've made this throw before, which I have made those types of throws before. But really, it's about the release. Once I see the release and feel that based on his body movements that he's going to be in the spot where I think he is, it's just a matter of putting the ball in a tight spot. But that's it's throws that we work on, throws I've hit over the years. It just comes down to footwork. I said after the game, I don't feel like I was throwing the ball often enough on rhythm in week 1, and so that's what I was focusing on last week in practice. And that throw was this 3 in the gun, tight hitch throw that when I am in rhythm and on balance, those are throws I expect to make. Regardless of how tight the window is.
Immediately after the game, you had an interview on the field talking about the Lions defense and what happened in the first half, second half, and everything like that. As we were watching the Manning cast, Peyton and Eli, all they were talking about is, they're in cover 2. They are just daring Aaron to run the ball. They're saying that Aaron is going to get bored. Aaron's not going to be able to just be patient with this entire thing. That's what the defense is saying. And Peyton and Eli weren't saying that you were going to give in to the temptation, but he just thought that's what the defense is continuing to show. And then you got one-on-one with Devontae. You drop it in the bucket, then that Bob Tunyon thing comes immediately after that. How hard is that to kind of sit back and just be like, all right, Aaron Jones, this is going to be a big-time night for you until we can open this thing up? Or is that just, you just have to view it as, this is this week's challenge in this whole thing?
Well, I think it's the way the league is trending. The trends on defense, the fads, as we've seen over the years, have gone usually from split safety to single safety. And split safety when I first got in the league, single safety with San Fran and Seattle's defense, Legion of Boom, for so many years. And then their coaches obviously branched off and went to a bunch of different places, and that became the defense around the league. And now it's kind of this Rams defense, which is a lot Rams Saints-ish, a lot more combo coverages, too high, quarters on one side, halves on the other, and you got to be patient with the run. So that's just the way it goes. We saw it back in 2011. I think we were really, really rolling. Very few teams wanted to play us in single safety, but when they do, you got to make them pay, and you have to have also stuff for the two high defenses you see as well. But on that third down, they rolled the one high kind of late, and Devontae had a one-on-one. I put it in a good spot. He made a great catch.
Hey, what about their head coach, Dan Campbell? Do you have any good interactions with him, either pregame, postgame, and the rest of the staff? I mean, a lot of those guys have been players for a while. Do you get to chat with them?
Unlike you, AJ, I like to wear my knee pads on my knees, so I feel like that was the first line.
What
was that? Definitely that. But no, I didn't see him. I saw 3 of my former teammates who I love. Tim Boyle was backup for 3 years. Love Tim. He's an awesome guy. He broke his thumb. He's recovering, but he's a special guy. Jamal Williams, who played with us for 4 years. Jamal, you just can't replace that type of energy and that enthusiasm and love for the game. Not to mention he's a great player. And then Geronimo Allison, I saw him after the game as well. Just a guy who brought so much energy and excitement and enthusiasm to our team and our locker room. Just a great human. Just fun to see those 3 guys for sure.
When Jared Goff got loose last night, a couple times Jared Goff got loose out there. One ran right into you, basically. How's that interaction go? Did you say, wow, surprisingly faster than I think everybody thought? Or would you tell him not to pull anything? Or how does that normally go when you're on other sidelines and when people come to your sideline?
It just depends. Sometimes they're friendly, sometimes they're not. Based on where we're at in the game, we're up by 3 scores. Jared's a Cal guy, so I gotta, I'm repping my Adam Duras County Crow shirt today.
Oh, of course.
Of course. You probably don't even know who Adam Duras is, but he's the lead singer, and they're back on tour. And Adam used to actually, he would be singing the winning song in the locker room with us in college, so I got to know him a little bit. Anyway, Jared went to Cal.
There's in the locker room with you,
Mr. Jones.
Oh yeah.
quite a lot of us in the league. You're just randomly naming. Can you name any other song on August and Everything After?
Around here, dude, of course.
Yeah,
Lone December.
You're in Fed line right now.
Yeah. Shout out Zito. Shout out Zito.
Yeah. Good job, guys.
Yeah, thank
But no, he busted out a couple times. They ran a read option with him where he pulled it. He had a scramble. We had nobody visiting the football, and he ran for like 30 yards. I mean, it's fun to see the slower. You watch Lamar the other night, right? He's so dynamic. It's unbelievable. Like the one run he had where he literally like went between jukes. It looked like Barry Sanders, and I grew up watching Barry Sanders. I love Barry Sanders. Looked like him just making guys miss. For us, like slower, white guys, every time we bust off a run for like 5 yards, I feel like, man, I just, I had a couple last night where we had some holding on the defense, and I was like, make sure I get those rushing yards. I mean, I had 6 yards, I think, last night on 4 carries. So I was a little jealous of Jared for sure, but happy to see him, bust out and get some rushing yards.
Hey, when you catch him with 12 guys on the field, what is that? I know Peyton and Eli were trying to diagram a little bit. Do you have a feel when they have too many and they're trying to sub and they just have like a go-to and all of a sudden you get to run a play?
Yeah, it just depends on the substitution patterns. And
It looked like you stopped Tunyon. You signaled him to stay on the sideline. It looked like one of them.
Well, I think some of that's competitive advantage, so I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I do.
It was on the game copy.
I did a quick count, so I went to 10 real quick on my hands, and then 1, 2 on my forearm here. So I was like, they got 12. Let's get them. And luckily, I went to Old Faithful Randall Cobb on 2 of those actually, which is pretty cool.
Talking about the sleeve, Peyton talked about this with Jared Goff at the beginning of the game. And it's been fascinating to listen to them talk because I assume it is very similar to how you would watch a game and everything like that. He talked about how whenever you have that sleeve, basically you're getting relayed a number, and then like Goff's getting relayed a number, then he reads it. And normally when an offense, as soon as the play's coming in, he said he liked to visualize the play as it's coming in, then he reads it to the huddle, and then now, boom, we're all off and running. When you're reading it off your armband, it's just like you're not really getting a chance to visualize it until you're walking up to the line of scrimmage. You still have the armband on. Is that just something that you guys change and add weekly, or is that you got the offense is just so big you still have to have some reminders in there? And are you comfortable completely in this LaFleur system now, year 3, obviously?
I'm definitely more comfortable for sure, but I'll say this. The thing I loved about watching Peyton and Eli in the second half, the first Monday night game, was damn near everything they said was the truth. Was exactly how most quarterbacks think and watch games. It was really, really fascinating. So I'm not sure what happened last night. I know, your crazy ass was on there. And I'm sure you did, where you were repping for the brand and probably talking Indianapolis, this and that, and, basically stealing the show. But I will say that, when you have the wristband, it does make a big difference, because the thing I used to always love was being able to hear the play, and as you're calling it, you are visualizing exactly what you want. And something's coming to mind, either a play from practice, a play from the film, something you maybe visualized the night before during the week about how you wanted that play to play out. When you're reading off the wristband, it is different, because then that time changes to that quick couple seconds when you do break the huddle, where usually when you're breaking the huddle, for me, you're thinking about adjustments to the play, stresses in the protection, or slight changes in routes you might want to make depending on the coverages. So it does change, I think, that whole dynamic. However, we have to do it. It's necessity, because plays in this offense are so long. And in the old system, and even in college, if we had more than 7 signals on a play, it would go to the wristband. With Mike, there were very few plays that we ever needed that, just because we would cut down on verbiage so much, and we're in the same system for so long, we just didn't necessarily need to have one. In this system, we have to have it, because there can be 15 words to a single play.
Are you still evolving in this offense, you think, though? You still have a lot of room to go, or do you think you have a pretty good grasp on it, even though, like at this point?
I have a good grasp on it for sure. I think the offense itself can evolve. It has to evolve. Every offense has to evolve. But I've got a great grasp of it. But I need the wristband, because if one word gets cut out, or if he pushes the button too early before he starts talking, or whatever might happen, if one or two words are off, and I say I need it again, then we're talking about another 5 seconds, and it just slows you down getting to the line of scrimmage. So it's much easier to say, hey, 22 or whatever, or 22 flip, whatever it might be. Then there's 5 underlined words on here you got to flip. Right goes to the left, protection one side goes to the other side, run one side goes to the other side, motion goes to the other. It's like it's gymnastics that it takes a little bit of learning curve, but we got it.
No, you're just a dumb jock, though. Remember that. Don't ever forget it. Go ahead, Ty. What do you have?
Aaron, we've talked ad nauseum about how no matter what you do, there's always going to be detractors and people talking shit. And it was like that this whole week leading up to the game. And then last night, even, going into halftime, you're 11-13 or whatever with, 2 touchdowns. You look great, and people are still picking apart and, trying to dance on your grave or whatever. And you alluded to it in your post-game presser, how, I'm not necessarily going to respond, but, I see what everyone's been saying. Are there any people, at this point, do you know who's kind of in your corner? Do you ever see stuff and it's like, oh, shit, I can't believe this guy's, got something, some sort of issue with me, and does it piss you off? I saw a lot of people were saying that you didn't care until the Tanyan throw last night. That's when it clicked, and it's oh, okay, we can see he cares again. Is it one of those things where that's still just outside noise and you don't give a shit, or is it what the fuck are these guys talking about?
I tell you, it's a combination of both. On one hand, it's absolute horseshit to give a platform to people who have no idea what they're talking about as far as my mental state and my focus, my work habits, people that have not been around me, they're not in my life, I don't have communication with them, or not in the locker room. That's just it's chicken shit. It's so ridiculous that people get a platform to do this, and it's the same type of people. On the flip side of that, I think in this day and age of media, the things that get the most, it's all about clicks, right, and hits and views, and 1 second counts as a view. So the actually opinions that are garnering the most attention are the most outlandish. So it's not even overreaction Monday or Tuesday anymore. It's overreaction every time a microphone's in your face, every time you have a single shot in the camera and you get to talk to camera, every time you're on a panel. It's who can say the most outlandish things, because that's going to give you the most hits. That's the media we live in. That's fine, but at the same time, I still have this show. I have my weekly stuff. Most people, don't use their platform to defend themselves. I don't think I need to defend myself from people who aren't worth spending time on. But I'm always going to give a reminder that listen to the source, of some of these things, and be reminded that it's often the same people in the same tired rhetoric. I was just surprised after week 1 there was such a story out there. But what's crazy to me is to let one storyline, right, by a person who has no contact with me, has zero relationship, to that becomes some sort of narrative that's out there that now I somehow don't care about ball because of my Zen attitude in the off season. That's the bullshit I was talking about last night. And I think that regardless of what happens this season or how we do moving forward, we have a tough schedule. There's going to be some ups and downs for sure. We're a team that's, finding our identity slowly, as always happens throughout the year. But the trolls are out there, I get it. But the truth and fact should not be replaced by conjecture, ill-founded conjecture. And when it is, then I'm thankful for this opportunity and for my pressers to be able to say, hey, look, just think about who's saying these things.
Woo! Yeah! Hey, that was a big fuck you. I enjoyed that. Hey, I want to let you know I enjoyed that there. Well articulated. Obviously, you did the whole thing. You did a State of the Union almost in the world we live in. But it needs to be said, and I appreciate the hell out of that. I'm sorry, AJ. Go ahead. That was awesome. That was great question, Ty.
Good question, Ty. Yeah, how has that changed though from when you got in the league till now? Has it changed, and how does it feel different from how the media is or how you guys interact with the media?
It's way different age because I think all these people who are on these shows now believe they're celebrities, and they believe that they have this platform to, use it to say whatever the hell they want, and that's how they garner the attention. That's how they get promotions. That's how they get to be on multiple networks. That's how they, get their name out there and get a blue check mark and get to go to the Met Ball and whatever the hell's going on. You know what I mean? It's like, that's the society we're in now. It's when I first got in the league in 2005 and you got in there in 2006. I mean, social media wasn't a thing unless you had a MySpace, and it was all about who was your top 5 or top 10 if they expanded it, what kind of music you had in the background. And it wasn't about, your social media following, your likes, your, how many views on a page. I think it's different. It's all about how many impressions you can have for things that you say. So what's going to, it's not going to be the relax, we're fine, this is 1 week, it was a dud, we're going to bounce back. That doesn't do anything. That doesn't move the needle for anybody. But you start saying some outlandish things about, what I did in the off season and me wanting to be on Jeopardy and not play ball and all this other, ridiculousness that Tom Fanning, told me was out there, which I really didn't see myself. I just think that's the state of the media that we're in.
How about Tom, by the way? Tom from MySpace. He was everybody's friend.
Man.
He's a great photographer. Have you ever run into him in any of your adventures? I think he's like a world traveler photographer now, our friend Tom.
No, but I'm big fan. He was one of my first friends.
Me too, man. He never responded, though. I sent him a couple messages. Son of a bitch would never respond. It was absolutely unbelievable. I love that you're kind of addressing the state of the world. Can I talk to you about right after the national anthem, there was a flyover. Was that the biggest fighter jet you've ever seen in your life? Was that thing a 53 1/3 wide? And in that moment of you and Devontae dapping each other up made me very comfortable with everything I'd been saying about the team. It felt like the team had a different vibe going into that. So just a couple questions in one there. Was that the biggest jet you've ever seen do a flyover? And what was the vibe going into the game? Felt like you all were kind of on the same page, like last week was just a big fuckery here.
I don't know if it was the biggest jet I've ever seen do a flyover, but it was pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
To not have that for a year and not have the fans and the energy. There's something that always gets me, regardless of how I'm feeling, physically, mentally, but intros. And it was defensive intros last night, so I didn't get to run out there. But the juice that you get and the electricity that goes through your body when you're introduced, it changes the whole dynamic inside your body. And I think we kind of needed that as a team, that energy from the crowd last night to kind of get us going. It wasn't that we weren't confident. It was just, I think we needed to just prove to ourselves again. And this might sound like a crazy statement, but I do believe this. I think you need to learn how to win every single year again. And that nothing carries over from year to year. There's mindset, there's culture, there's environment. I think that the structure that's carried over, but the team is different. And I think each team needs to relearn how to win and how to deal with adversity every season. And we didn't handle it well the first week, and yesterday we handled it well. We came in the locker room. There wasn't a freak out. I think we all kind of realized, look, we had 3 possessions. We scored on 2 of them. Let's take the lead for the first time this season. Let's play from a lead. Let's get a couple stops, and we'll be fine. And so I am proud of our guys in that respect, because I feel like we just kind of stuck together. And as far as the confidence-wise with Devontae, I mean, how do you not have confidence? I told him this last night on the bench, and I really believe this. As great as he was last year, and he was spectacular, I think he's a better player this year. I really do. I mean, you look at I was just watching the clip of his first catch of the night last night. He literally ran a stick route. He ran 5 yards and stopped. And I threw it to him. The backer flew over the top. And he turned upfield, and nobody touched him. And he went 12 yards after the catch. It was a 17-yard play. And I was just like, and then you add on the catch that he had when I threw it super high over the middle that he made, and just, down the sidelines, he just makes it look so easy. And, he retorted to me last night. He said, we're just getting started. And I believe that.
Well, I think Ty Schmidt actually just, there's a little, there's a little frosting that just came out over there. That was
Changed
great.
my underwear.
I heard Andrew Luck tell T.Y. Hilton one time, and I think I was I was probably eavesdropping in this conversation, but the way that they liked playing football with each other. Like that was something like, hey, I like playing football with you. And they had this incredible connection, and I think Tom Brady has that with Gronk. Is that how you feel with Devontae? Like you just enjoy playing, not that you don't with everybody else, but I feel like there's a special connection that comes between some of those relationships between quarterback and wide receiver. And in the end, it's like, I like playing football with you. Like it's a lot of fun doing that.
Well, how can you not? I mean, the guy makes you look great every single week. So how can you not? I care so much, as opposed to what was said last week. I do care so much, but I care so much about the people, about the person and not just the player. And when I see a guy growing as a person, 99% of the time translates to a guy growing on the field. And Mike used to say this all the time. When he was in Green Bay, he used to say, your best players got to be your best people. And when you do that, you can create a culture, player-led team, and leadership in the right way, authentic leadership. And I'm as thankful as I am to throw it to 17 every single week. I'm just as thankful about the type of guy that he is and the way that he leads, the way he conducts himself, the type of professional that he is. Just his whole countenance and demeanor and charisma. That to me is what it's all about. A superstar player who can do all those other things and is a good person. And, for that, I'm obviously really thankful for DA.
You guys are pretty good.
Hey, how important is it for you guys to like each other, for teams and locker rooms to actually get along and hang out off the field and do all of that? You can't put a stat on it, but Pat and I talk all the time like, hey, the best teams love being around each other and hanging out on and off the field.
Yeah, we used to say back in 2010, the team that drinks together wins together.
Yeah. Yep.
And that team got after it for sure.
We hung out more than in most other years, don't you think, that year?
I 100% agree with that. And it was the personalities, though. It's you bring together Josh Sitton and a TJ Lang as young players, Brian Balaga as a rookie. Then you got the old heads, Cliffy and Tausch and Driver and Woodson, and the young up and coming guys like Greg Jennings and Jordy Nelson and James Jones. And just the way that we all vibed together was really special. Then you add the wild cards like Tom Crabtree. You got those glue guys, Howard Green, I think about, BJ Raji. The way that we did love each other was special. And again, because Age, that was not our best team talent-wise by any stretch of the imagination, but it was a really close-knit group.
Yeah, I had a quote. I mean, the team that drinks together wins together sounds a lot better than mine. I said team comes, you get it, a lot closer together around a keg than they do kale.
Yeah.
Like as the nutritionist came into the world, it was protein shake time. I'm like, all right, I think we should just have a keg, though, just one time right down yonder. I think we'll learn a lot about each other. Just very quickly. I think we'll learn a lot about each other right over there. It's a new world, though, Aaron. It's a new world now. You can't do that. It's not healthy.
No? You're a big kale guy now, huh?
Well, I smoke kale.
The tank tops? You don't need sleeves to kick ass or what?
Yeah, well, I tell you what, Aaron, I said this last night and I'll say it again. Tank top's perfect for if you got a little bit of a gut, but you want to do your arms, tank top makes you look good. You know what I mean? Everybody thinks I'm in shape. I'm not. I am sloppy, but this tank top makes me feel good, just like Aaron Rodgers Tuesdays do. We're talking to Aaron Rodgers. Connor, your question, sir?
Yeah, Aaron, what was the thought on the post-game sombrero? Because it looked electric, and will you be getting a few more for, Devontae and some of the other guys on the offense?
Great question. Every time that we have Monday night, there's ESPN Deportes, and John Sutcliffe, who's worked there for a long time, has become a friend of mine, and he's also a tequila supplier for me. So it's he always brings something silly, with him, and we did a post game, and he had this sombrero, and he wanted me to either wear it or give it to Aaron Jones or something, and I got Devontae to rock it on the way out because I was asking him to wait for me because we were so late. I was talking with Tim Boyle after the game for a long time, and Gmo and Jamal, and by the time I got to Lisa, I was like, man, I want to get in here. And then John was still there, so we did that interview, and he was trying to get me to speak some Spanish, which last time I did, it wasn't very great. It wasn't very good. So I kind of, my English wasn't very great either, but I was trying to keep it to a minimum. But then he brought the sombrero out, then he brought some tequila out, and it was awesome.
Yeah, hey, are you doing a mustache right now? I mean, if you go with that hair, mustache, sombrero.
Oh, yeah. Super
I mean,
Bowl.
let's go. We're winning the Super Bowl. I mean, immediately, dude.
I don't think so. I have a month-ish until Halloween, and this has been a year in the making for my costume. I'm not going to give it away.
Wow.
But it's somebody who is a hero of mine who has, long-ish hair.
Scott Stapp, that's awesome. We're talking to Aaron Rodgers here. We're talking to Aaron. And before we get to the incredible Aaron Rodgers book club that has captivated people that I would have never imagined, and those people would be the people that listen to this show. I had no idea we had readers listening. I am honored to be a part of that. Before we get to that, I would like to ask you, though, you pushed Joe Dirt last night. What if he turns around, okay, and do you remember this? There was a little bit of a scrum. You push old buddy. I thought you were potentially going to get like a taunting call out of that thing. What happens if he turns around and squares up on you? Are you throwing hands with Joe Dirt immediately in the backfield there?
No, I don't think so. That's not a great matchup for me. So I like to, I wouldn't go down easy for sure. I'd definitely put up a solid fight. But no, I think it's fun sometimes in those moments to give a guy a little bit of a shove or something. They don't expect it's you. So lots of them they'll spin around real quick and they'll see it's you, and then you laugh. It's like bringing some, a little bit of humor to a tense situation. Everybody's like, oh, this guy's pushing me, so I got to push him back. And and there's a lot of fun moments on the field. Like sometimes you kind of give a guy a little bit extra shove, and they whip around real quick, and they look at you like, oh, come on, man. And I'm just. And I'm like, come on, man, chill out a little bit. It's just football.
That guy did not turn around, by the way. You pushed him, and he just walked off. You probably saw it on Jumbotron. I hate that guy, is what he said. And that's what MCDC wants over there, by the way. He doesn't want any laughing with Aaron Rodgers.
You know what? I told him on the field, we ran up, I think it was the first possession of the game, and he was kind of eyeing me or whatever. And so I just kind of, touched my flow a little bit. And, he did say something. He gave me a nice comment about my hair. Obviously, he has one of the best, manes in the entire game.
Can we say his real name for God's sake?
Something that Clay would be really jealous.
Fox, he's the captain of the defense.
Fox.
What is the guy's name?
No
Evan Fox,
idea.
Detroit Lions fan?
Jesus.
Well,
Whole new defense.
Fake
this
fan,
year.
fake fan,
Oh, my
fake
God.
fan.
This guy's the captain of your team.
He's a good player.
He's a good player.
He's a very good player.
He flies around. That hair comes flying out there.
Look like Bobby Carpenter out there.
Yeah, he did look a little
he
bit
wishes.
like
Oh, is that a Bobby truck?
Yeah, do you know General Bob? You know him pretty well, right?
Yeah, he's a great wedding singer.
I saw him at an event, and he grabbed that microphone a lot. I did not hear him sing, but I heard him cut about 7 to 8 promos that I never thought would come out of somebody's mouth in public. And he was forced out there by AJ, obviously, and he just went right up. That guy has zero fear. I absolutely love it. Let's get into the thing that has captivated, people that I don't think would ever think that they'd be captivated in. Maybe they put their reading glasses away for decades, maybe, and you reminding them that reading is a good thing has really gone over well. Where Men Win Glory was last week's book. Pat Tillman's story, behind-the-scenes tales, and what John Gower was able to do with this book is something that people are always going to be proud of. This guy writes good books, and his story is an amazing one. What should we look forward to for the next week here on the Aaron Rodgers Book Club, Mr. Aaron Rodgers?
Before I get into that, I need to ask you, where are you getting your cliff notes from? Who is somebody on the staff? One of the fellas putting together. I mean, you didn't actually mention anything that was written in the book, but I know the first week you didn't read The Alchemist.
Whoa.
I mean, not the whole thing. So I'm sure somebody filled in some of the gaps there. You got, chasing your personal legends, which is great. But no, let me just say this, since you won't answer my question.
I follow Paulo, dude. All right, The Alchemist has changed my life completely. I mean, I have the book. Look, page is still marked. I told you this. He ran his fingers slowly over the stone. I mean, I've been getting into it. Never read a book. First time, Aaron Rodgers Book Club. This is what it's all about. This is what it's all about.
Hell yeah.
Connor does read it, though, and does give me a little bit of a heads up. He was not able to finish this book yet, so I wasn't able to give you a bullshit thing there, but we will get there eventually, and I think maybe a lot of people are doing that. What's the next book in line here?
Thank you, Connor. Before I get into that, I do want to say one of the cool things about this is giving people a glimpse at some of my favorite books and also encouraging people to read. It has got the attention of those authors. So follow the author of The Alchemist. Like, had a bunch of tweets that, out about it, which is really awesome, I think. And then last week, when I highlight Where Men Win Glory, which is, just one of a number of amazing books by Krakauer, he reached out to me on social media, which was amazing. I've always been a fan of his work, and so that's like a cool latent, benefit of this whole thing. And hopefully people are enjoying it. And look, I have a ton of books that I love, but I also have a book stack of about 30 that I want to get to, and it keeps getting added to. Every time I go to Barnes & Noble, I go, I want to read this book, and this goes in a stack that keeps growing and growing and growing. So I'm not like reading a book a week, but it's like some cool books that I think you can enjoy. So this week's book is an oldie but a goodie. One for a long time was on the reading list for, I believe, either late elementary or junior high. This book still stands up. I don't know why AJ's laughing. This book still stands up.
Well, he said something terribly toxic right in the middle of your entire thing. He snuck it in so you couldn't hear him, actually. He tried to take down not only the book
Let
club,
him finish, man.
the whole
Let
show.
him finish. This is a thing.
No,
This
he's
is
a
segment.
scumbag.
Yeah.
You are a scumbag. We will kick you out of the Aaron Rodgers book club,
What did
pal.
he say? What did he say?
Nothing.
Get him out.
I commented on the possible books that you're trying to get to.
Yeah. All right.
Just go. I want to hear this book. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Go to hell, dude.
Kick him out. All right. Jeez.
Get him out. Just go two-shot. Go two-shot.
Go to two-shot. Good. I'll sit here and watch. Go to a two-shot. I'm good.
Yeah. Mute his mic, too.
Smoke
Jeez.
my cigar without Aaron yelling at me.
What shirt are you wearing, by the way? What is
I know who that is. One of the greatest American guitarists ever lived, bud.
that? Okay. So I don't know where I was at. Anyway, this book was on reading list when I was growing up. It still stands up. It's, in my opinion, super relatable to what we're going through as a society now. When I read it, it had a black cover. They've re-released it with a new cover, but it's The Giver by Lois.
Oh,
All-timer.
my God. I love this book.
All-timer.
Yeah.
This one's good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a fantastic book. Like I said, I read it again probably for the fourth time like a year ago, and it's an easy read. It's like I think it's a little under 200 pages, but it's a really quick, easy read. Phenomenal book about kind of a dystopian society and people that feel a little different. Really one person, I guess, in general, and his interaction with the Giver, who is a character in the book. So it's an easy read. It's a great book. Again, I usually read nonfiction, but I've now highlighted 2 out of the 3, Pat, as you know, fiction books. But The Giver by Lois Lowry, fantastic book.
That's awesome. I can't thank you enough. Sorry, AJ tried to take down the whole show and the book club, but I can't wait to get back into The Giver. I do believe I had to act like I read that book before, right?
Oh,
that
yeah,
is something that
definitely.
I've had to act
Yeah.
like before, so I'll be able to get refreshed on that, and I will actually read it. Expectation for how long that thing should take me to read, you think?
It depends. If you're doing 30 minutes a night, I think you should be able to read it in a week.
Perfect. I just heard there's a movie too. I won't watch that because the book is always better, especially if it's in the Aaron Rodgers book club. Congrats on getting the win. Shout out to the Counting Crows. Mr. Jones is a heater. Can't wait to see what you do this weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Rodgers. Now that the world's opening back up, so many new thrills are on the horizon.
Okay.
And whether you've been in a relationship for years or just getting started, we're excited to get back out there and meet new people.
Hell yeah.
When the moment comes, let's not come too quick.
Oh, here we go.
That is not what they had in their copy.
Okay.
They should.
That was, I think they're going in a different direction, so let's go back a sentence or two.
Okay.
When the moment comes, you want to be ready.
Hell yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
With Roman, you can get a free online evaluation and ongoing care for erectile dysfunction, all from the comfort and privacy of your home. Once you take care of that, though, you get the Roman swipes, and guess what?
Lasts a long time.
Banging it.
Yeah, it's Pete Alonso. at the at the home run derby.
Boom.
That's right.
Dingers.
Downtown.
Bingo.
David Ruoff.
Population U, dude.
Hell yeah.
Roman ready equals confidence. The confidence that you know you can rise to the occasion in the moment. We're looking at the Summer of Love 2021 version, and Roman wants to make sure you can participate in your way. Whether that be as a single person or a couple who would still rather stay in with each other, a U.S. licensed healthcare professional will work with you to find the best treatment plan. If medication is appropriate, it ships to you for free with 2-day shipping.
Okay. That's huge.
Free?
The shipping's free.
Wow.
I believe, not the
Medication.
Free
No.
2-day shipping.
Yeah.
Go to GetRoman.com/McAfee today, and if you're prescribed, you can get 50% off your first month of ED treatment.
Okay.
That's GETROMAN.com/MCAFEE. And if you're prescribed, you can get 50% off your first month of erectile dysfunction treatment. Make sure you're ready to have confidence and control this summer. Roman ready. Two legendary Aarons joining us on one beautiful Tuesday.
Wow.
Could you fathom that?
Let's go.
Joining us now is a former third placer
Okay.
on Dancing with the Stars.
Whoa.
Moves. You know, you got to do the tango. You got to
of
do the
course.
whole thing. You know what I mean? You got to do that.
Foxtrot.
You got to do a
Jitterbug.
foxtrot. Yeah, you got to do
Hip-hop.
it all. Former third placer on Dancing with the Stars, and NFL legend on Fox with Joe and Troy. Ladies and gentlemen, EA, Aaron Andrews. Woo!
First-time caller, long-time listener. Very annoyed it's taken this long. I'm just happy to be here on Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Andrews Tuesday. You know what I mean? Who's this sponsored by? Do we know?
Well, we have a sponsor. We had a sponsor. We lost the sponsor. They didn't necessarily love our ad read. And I would like to let you know, we're annoyed that you haven't come on in a long time either. What the hell happened? We've been sending in
never been
requests for a
asked.
long time. We've been
Come on.
sending in
Long
requests for
time.
a
Not
long
available.
time.
Not
Need
available.
EA. Is what
Please.
everybody said. That's what we've been saying this
No.
whole time. Yeah.
No, bullshit. Nope, haven't heard. I'd be bringing my cigars. I'd be having my fake background, like AJ, all the things. I watch all these shows.
Well, we appreciate that. And you should have been on a long time ago because you've been doing
Yeah.
great things for the sport of football for so long. We're thankful you're here. Let's dive into it.
I do nothing.
You do? No, you've been. Hey, you were.
I don't. Stop it.
Hey, you were at West Virginia whenever I was there. That was like every week almost. It felt like we had a Thursday night football game. And then watching you just catapult through the football, everybody loved it. I think you're crushing it, EA. What are you saying? You do nothing. You've been around the game longer than all of us have been. I mean, what are we even doing?
I will tell you, Pat, there's nothing like that intro before your commercial break. I mean, this broad, she's been around for years. Thank you. Thank you. And this segment sponsored by Great Moisturizer and Botox, you know?
That is not. You obviously look.
Do you say that to Aaron when he comes on? Do you say that to Tom Brady? You guys have been here forever. I mean, when are we getting some new blood?
Yeah, we do actually. I mean, that is something we would say to them. But you look like the first time I saw you in Morgantown on Thursday night football. EA.
What a gal she was. She was going to Cracker Barrel and not working out. Herb Street would order pancakes for the table, and I'd just be chowing it. Like, I just thought, you could keep that 18-year-old body forever. And then it was like, I got to start lifting like AJ Hawk,
Yeah, well, listen, you're crushing it. You always have. You always will. I like the fact that you like pancakes. I love pancakes.
I eat everything, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's awesome. Listen, look what we're learning here. Look what we're learning here as we go. This is becoming a great... all right, so let's dive into some football, though, shall we?
Let's do it.
Is there-
And by the way, I'm doing Thursday this week, and we have a good little matchup on Sunday as well. We have that Rams-Bucks game, too.
Okay, so let's talk
Double duty.
Okay, so let's talk about Thursday first. Let's do the Carolina Panthers, Houston Texans game. Tyrod Taylor's out. He continues to be the most unlucky great quarterback I think we've ever seen. Every situation has happened. When you talk to these teams, do they give you a lot more than they give everybody else because they know you and it's a national championship? Or are you expecting to hear nothing from all these people? What is it like?
It has nothing to do with me. I'm also on these calls with Troy and Joe, who everybody loves. Half the time, Joe's like teeing off somewhere. He's like, "Hold on, guys, let me finish this." But everybody loves it. And no, they're always so wonderful to us. It's kind of a bummer because we don't really see, obviously, the Texans or the Panthers very much. We just get them on Thursday night. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of Coach Rule, and I actually had texted Herbie last year because I was like, I've been away from college for a while. What's he like? Are we into it? But everybody's really good with us. I mean, you're a former player, athlete, D1. You know what it's like when Troy and Joe come to town. You just want to lay it all out there, right?
I mean, you guys never talk to me. You know what I mean?
I did on the sidelines. I love special teams.
Net.
They're my people on the field. I always talk to them.
Very nice.
Because they're always like, "Hey, can you move your ass over? I'm trying to practice, or I'm trying to warm up here," and I'm like in the way. My light guy's in the way. My monitor guy's like, "Shit, let's move. Come on, move."
Yeah, it's not you. It's not you. It's everybody. It's the lighting person, the camera person. Yeah. Then there's a PA, I believe, that's going there. And I'm like, "Hey, will you get the fuck out of that?" I mean, I understand.
My makeup girl, who's really good looking, and all the guys are like, "Here, just can I move you over to the side?" And then they casually move her over. But me, they're like, "EA, move your ass over. We're good."
No. See, listen, I don't know who's doing that. We need to kick their asses. But it is the PA, the light person. It's like, "Hey, I need to kick a ball here." And they're like, "Oh, we got a shot. We got a shot." I'm like, okay. I fucking hate you. But you're allowed to say that, I guess, because you're with TV. But who do you think? Okay, so David Mills?
Davis.
Davis Sills?
Davis Mills.
David
Mills.
I said Tyler Heineke this week, and I felt so freaking bad. So I'm not messing this kid's name up this week. I felt, and here's the thing, this is the worst. We love social media, T's and P's to social media. I thought I came off the game. I'm like, yeah, I didn't get on very much, but whatever, it is what it is. But my one hit I had where Joe Judge was like, "I'm not interested in talking to you. Let's try to figure this out here in the second half." I said Tyler Heineke, and I was like, yeah, I had a good game. Great. Looked at Twitter, and I was like, damn it! Whole night was ruined. Chest pains. I felt terrible. I want to give the kid a public apology. T's and P's to Taylor Heineke, not Tyler.
Yeah, well, Taylor Heineke, he's maybe the next Fitzmagic. Mm-hmm. Like, he might actually be. So I think you're going to potentially have a long time to build that relationship.
To apologize.
Hey, you hate social media, huh? You hate social media. It sounded like that's what it sounded like right there. You hate it.
I don't watch it after doing a game because I don't need to hear about my nose looking like a bird. I don't need to hear about my voice, sounding like nails on a chalkboard. Sometimes, as you guys know, you can have a lot of fun with it. Other times you can have a few drinks and then wake up the next morning and be like, "Oh God, did I write anything?" And you didn't, and you're so glad. But yeah, I mean, it's good and bad, right? There's times that it's fabulous and you can go after the guy with the cat avatar that's talking about how lame you are, and you're like, "Well, how's your mom doing?" Go upstairs and ask her. Like things like guys.
Yeah, I mean, that was a full time. Yeah, cat avy guy. Take a hike, dude. Why don't you just mute these people? It has to be the same people every week for you. Has to be. You should just mute them. Get them out of your life forever.
Oh, no, it's fun. It's a good time. But after a game, when you screw up a quarterback's name, you're like, "Oh, damn."
Okay, is that biggest fear for you? What is biggest fear whenever you're on air out there?
Dropping an F-bomb.
Have you? Have you ever?
No. Oh, my God. Now I will.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Hey, go to social media after you drop a fuck on TV. They will love you. I mean, that'll be that cat avy will be like, "Hey, EA is one of us out there." That'd be,
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that are just, I have blanked out before. You're just like, what was I talking about? Or just saying something really, which I've probably done forever, dumb in front of an athlete. So I think those are, no pressure. I only get 15 seconds. If anybody else screws up, they get a good 3-4 hours to clear it up. I got 15 seconds and I'm like, God, what? I've been working all week for that.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, that's like punting. Yeah, I'll go out there and I'll shank. Yeah, I'll go out there and I'll shank one. I got to sit on that for 2 hours. It's like, can we at least get another chance at this thing, or is my life over? Oh, but we won the game, so everybody's supposed to be happy. I'm happy, but I shanked one 3 hours ago. I was never able to fix it. It's a tough thing. It's a tough balance. You got to be mentally tough out there. Is there anything that you've
But
said.
then I'm there on the sidelines to talk to you, right? When you come back, like, good job. It's
You're right.
okay.
Yeah,
They're not saying anything bad on Twitter, I promise.
Yeah, get your PA guy the fuck out of the way. I got to figure out why that just happened, EA. Have you ever said anything you're not supposed to say? Like, because I did sideline reporting for the Boca Bowl and the first
awesome.
XFL game. It was impossible. I have no idea how you guys do it. Honestly, I have no clue how you do it. That was very difficult. That was one thing that I don't think I'll ever be able to do. But I was hearing stuff. Like, I had a couple friends that were in the coaching staffs, the Boca Bowl and the XFL, and I was hearing stuff, and they were literally like, hey, Pat, look for this. Like, this is about to happen. And I would just go right to the mic. Hey, listen to this. This guy's about to go. There's like a code, right? There's things you can't say. Have you ever let something out that you're not supposed to say? And has anybody ever, like, gotten mad at you for that?
No, I mean, again, thanks so much for jinxing it.
Jesus.
We're told things all the time, which I'm so grateful for, that athletes are so good to us and like give us things to look for. You don't want to burn anyone. So no, I haven't done that. I think the big transition with football versus those West Virginia games was I was allowed to repeat everything I heard on the sidelines in college. I mean, some of my best huddles I ever, got to hear were John Calipari, Tom Izzo. That's obviously when I worked basketball. I know you know that, but
of course,
Cal was so amazing. He would look at me like, because he would see me standing there, because you could be right in it, and he would look at me and go, EA, come listen to this. This is going to be good. So I'm like, okay. And, nice. It would be awesome. But NFL, as you know, is different. You have to kind of paraphrase what they're saying. But no, I mean, I think burning guys and the information they tell us, it's just not worth it. That's why you have the Glazers and the Shefties and all that kind of stuff out there doing the dirty work. I am not interested at all.
Hashtag Jay knew.
Any of that.
Hashtag Jay knew. That's one of our things. Jay Glazer always knows.
Yeah.
He does. Listen, and that's what Troy says all the time. Unless Jay Glazer's reporting it, I'm not believing it. I think it was like week 2 of a season that after Harbaugh, he was going to get fired or leave the next year from 49ers. And Jay Glazer was reporting it week 2. And I remember we were all meeting in the lobby to go to the game. And Troy just said, God, he's already reporting this? This is happening. So, yeah. Glaze is unbelievable with all his texts and messages and info he gets.
I don't remember.
His head's like radiating.
Yeah, well, that's also because all he does is just eat iron over there in the unbreakable gym. I forget. I don't know if we've said this publicly. I think draft day we had to sit on the Aaron Rodgers shit for like 4 hours because Jay knew. Jay literally called me during a commercial break of my show on draft day, and he was like, "What's up with your guy?" And I was like, "Who's my guy?" He was like, "Aaron." I was like, "Wow, I don't know." He's like, "Something big's coming. I'm hearing something big's going on right now." And I'm like, "Jay, what are you talking about? I'm live right now." He's like, "Something's coming." And then he just hangs up on me. And I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, what does that even mean? And then 4 hours later, it was like, there's all hell has broken loose. Like, whenever you guys cover games. So I wasn't going to ask you about this, but it kind of led to this because I asked Peyton about this last night. My first question to Peyton was literally like, could you imagine having no say in anything like Aaron did for so long? Like that would not have happened with him. And he said, yeah. No. When you guys go, is it a hard balance of like not pissing off like the GM's narrative and also the players' narrative, the organization and things like that? Does that ever become like something that's tough to do? And the way Joe and Troy are so good and you're electric every single time you get in there. But is that something you guys talk about? Is that something you guys chat about or no?
No, I don't think so at all. I mean, listen, it's a fair question. And I look at week 1, right? We had this interview with Aaron and I didn't get the exclusive. Let's be honest. I wanted to tweet that. I think Andrew Marchand, I can't make that guy happy. He's just pissed at me, all the time. But
I think he hates me too.
I think he does.
I think he hates me.
Loves you. He like called, I guess Joe said on Saturday night for Yankees Mets that I had the, exclusive sit down with Aaron Rodgers, and Marchand tweeted, well, she didn't because Pat McAfee has it every 2. We got it. I know.
I didn't hear that, by the way. Oh, we didn't hear that. We didn't even hear that over here. We
Here's
apologize.
me. I was about to retweet, and I get it, Andrew. I know I can't do anything that's good enough to be on these sidelines. It's not a sensitive point for me at all.
Hey, mute him. Mute him. What are we even doing? Mute him, EA. Get him out.
No, but it's just like you can't even, sit down with the guy. We get it. He has Tuesdays with you. But just thinking about that point, I'm sure that the questions that Packers management, I was asking about Packers management and then, asking Aaron follow-up questions. I'm sure they weren't happy about it, but it's also like we're not there for them. We're just there to deliver, I think, the news and the facts to the viewers at home. So we don't really go in with any sort of like fears about that.
Anybody?
Now there is like, listen, if there is like I don't know, maybe with a coaching staff, you don't want to harp on anything where it would make things uncomfortable in terms of like dealing with them in the next couple of weeks. If you kind of know the inside information, we're going to be like, yeah, touch on it, but not something where you're drilling it home and you're making it a point of something. I think we're pretty fair about that on our crew.
And I think you guys do a good job of displaying the game as like a celebration, like positive, as opposed to picking out all the negatives. Because I assume if you were to talk about any of that negative stuff, that would do numbers on the internet. It'd be huge. But instead of resisting the urge of those clicks and keeping it like a celebration, I think is something that your crew does very well, if it means anything at all. And we didn't see any of that. And I want to let you know, we were excited to watch you chit-chat with him, by the way. So I just know that we live in our own world over here. We mute everybody. We just got our blinders on. That's all we got. We just go ahead and stay straight ahead. Your interview was fantastic. We appreciate it.
I tried to take a cue out of your book. I wore a tank top. I've told him before, just how I do. I watch your show all the time. I love it. I think you get the best of people. I was telling Peter Schrager, I know a fan of yours, that I was coming on the show and I was kind of nervous, and he was like, why? And I said, Pat's like the Andy Cohen of sports. Like, he gets you to say shit. I'm not drunk while I'm doing this. I was drinking on Andy's show when I did it, but I was like, he just gets you to say the things that everybody wants to hear. And, Andy goes right in there with some of these questions. But no,
that's a Real Housewives guy. That's a Real Housewives guy. The guy that
he's real rich, smart guy.
Yeah, he created that whole thing, right? Isn't that his thing? He created that whole thing.
Genius.
Hey, respect to that guy. I'm nothing like him, by the way.
No, but you kind of are the sports world where you make everybody feel comfortable. You get, you ask the questions that people are afraid to, and you get to the gossip of it all. And I told Aaron, I said, I've watched the show so many times, especially when I prep for interviews with him, and I'm jealous. I feel like you are able to say whatever the heck you want. I would love to be uncensored like this. Can you imagine Joe, Troy, Aaron, and Tom Rinaldi on the sidelines uncensored?
Oh, it'd be awesome.
Unbelievable.
The NFL would never let it
Tom
eat.
Rinaldi would still make us cry, but it would be unbelievable.
Yeah, that would be amazing. We've been asking for that type of coverage for the NFL for a long time.
Yeah.
We're trying to push for you guys to do it. We're trying to push for you guys to do it. But I think the reason why is anybody that talks to me knows that they're talking to somebody dumber than them, right? And
Stop it.
No, that's real. Like, hey, anything that I'm about to say to this idiot, he has done something worse and dumber. So they just kind of let it eat. So your intelligence and success is to your detriment in this particular case. But this is something I don't know how long it'll last. Go ahead, Ty Schmidt.
Aaron, we've all seen like the super viral clips, whether it's like Saban or Popovich or whoever that kind of dunk on like a reporter. You've had so many interactions with like coaches and players. Are there any guys who like after the fact you've been like, oh wow, fuck this asshole, like for showing me up or whatever? Or is it something where you've been in this long enough time, like you understand, like, okay, I just have to have thick skin, like this kind of stuff's gonna happen?
I know I have to have thick skin, but I'm also, you can't tell at all I'm sensitive. I just, you know what, I think the thing is for me is I just want them to respect me and know that I work my ass off and I'm studying and I'm not trying to ask dumb questions. Look, I panic, I sweat every time I have to grab Bill Belichick at halftime. And, there's a couple of times I've just been like, oh, crap. But it's funny. I was talking to my husband about it, and he had a really, really hard, tough coach, one of the toughest coaches in the NHL, Daryl Sutter. I don't know if you know anything about the Sutter brothers. I know it's Canadian, but Pat, you would love these guys. But he is.
We're talking about fucking sticks on puck. Come on.
Now we are.
Look at his dangles.
But he, when it comes to the football field, like they are so tough, they are so hard, but off the field, super great. But yeah, there's been a couple of guys. Listen, when I first interviewed Nick Saban, I used to be at arm's length from him because I was so intimidated. I was so scared. I didn't want to piss him off. Now I'm going to name my firstborn Saban, and this is coming from a Florida Gator. Here's one of my pom-poms, because that guy is just a god, and I am into him. Yeah. So I also dig it, though, like how tough they are. I think that's awesome. Like, I want to crack it,
Yeah, but they also appreciate, like, if you come with any type of confidence.
Firing.
Yeah, like if you're scared at all, it's like I feel like with a lot of those people, it's almost like a pit bull, right? If a pit bull senses that you're scared at all, it's a completely different game between you and the dog. If you're not scared at all, it's a different. I think a lot of those, in my experience now being the punter. Hey, I'm much lower than you on the totem pole, but whenever I come talk to those, I am. Yeah, your PA is standing in front of my fucking neck on 3rd and long, okay? And I'm being told that I'm not allowed to speak to it. But I think if you just come in, with confidence, they appreciate that. And I think that's why you crush it every time, because although it sounds like you do say you have little panic attacks or whatever, it never comes across on television as that way.
But the panic attacks are what hype me up. They are what, like, as psycho as that sounds, like I am full blown shaking before a first hit. And I've done this, as you guys so kindly pointed out, for 100 years. But I am shaking. Like, I have got to get this first one. This is a good story. And this is about your boy.
It has not been 100 years, by the way. Fresh into the TV game.
Come on.
Aaron Andrews, brand new, first time, rising star in this entire thing. I'm sorry. Go ahead, though.
No. Yeah, so it was probably my second or third year I was with Joe and Troy. And stop me if you've heard this before, but Aaron had a calf injury, Aaron Rodgers. And we got it. You need to stretch those things, So my first hit was about the calf. It's cold, blah, blah, blah. We're doing a rehearsal. And I was just effing up this whole thing about this damn calf that we've all heard about before. And I say, we joke about it, but I'm screwing up in the rehearsal. And finally my producer goes, will you get your phone? And I said, why? And he goes, Joe's trying to call you. And I was like, well, why can't he just talk to me? So I picked up the phone and I was like, hello. And he goes, will you stop? And I said, what? And he goes, will you fucking stop? And I said, what? And he goes, it's a calf injury. You got this. You are not performing brain surgery. Will you just get it out? I was like, you're so right. But yeah, but I also think that's what makes me love this thing so much, is that you geek yourself up so much. You just want to do a good job and stay out of the punter's way.
Well, no. Get in the punter's way. Do what you got to do. Cover the game. We need the money from the coverage much more than we need to punt that one particular rep. But I think that thing about the butterflies is good, right? I mean,
I do too.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. I think I still get that. I'm not somebody that gets nervous much. I am rather comfortable in almost every situation. But that energy, that excitement that kind of happens right before something big, it happens in here when I'll come into this show. If I know, like today, for instance, we had fucking Aaron Andrews on the show.
Yeah.
Well,
I had, you know what I mean? Today was one of those days, so I hope you have that forever. And we've all been very lucky to watch your work, EA. We appreciate you so much.
I love you. I appreciate it. Can we do this more often?
Hey, you tell us, dude. Hey, that is your.
Yeah.
We've been asking to get
for so long.
For not that many years, because honestly, we didn't know you existed until
Right.
2-3
a
years
year ago.
Yeah.
But since you came into the thing, I mean, we've been trying our best. I mean, that's what we've been trying to do. But yeah, we would love that. We'd love that if that was possible.
We could get into some real good gossip, in the next couple weeks, all the tea. That's what the kids say.
Yeah, and then I become actual Andy Cohen.
Ooh.
Now we're playing the game, ladies and gentlemen. NFL.
Shotskis.
Yeah, okay. Now that's a German thing. I don't know if Andy Cohen stole that, but I do. the big old.
Everyone.
You ever miss one?
Oh,
I have.
man.
Everybody just dumps a ski on the head.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. Let's talk.
Shotski?
Yeah.
I missed my smoothie today and had to change my shirt at the last minute. I had greens all over. Get your greens in.
See, that's something I need to do. And I learned something today that you
look great.
You are awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, NFL legend Aaron Andrews. Thank you. So sorry to interrupt, but don't get stuck doing the same workouts, okay? Making progress towards the future you means overcoming new challenges. There's no perfect body that everyone can achieve, but what we can do is continually become a better version of ourselves. FitBod creates a fitness program that continually adapts with new exercises and dynamic intensity that adjusts to how you're progressing. So you'll be challenged to meet your goals at your own pace. FitBod is a beautiful thing because they calculate that you could be different than everybody else, because guess what? You are different than everybody else. Whether you're exercising 3 days a week or twice a day, every workout is scientifically proven to be better than the last. No equipment, no worries. FitBod has bodyweight routines for those looking to get fit at home or on the go. FitBod even has HD video tutorials to make learning new exercises a breeze. Personalized training can be tough on the budget, but FitBod is only $9.99 a month or $59.99 a year. Sign up now and you'll get 25% off your membership. Pick up the pace on your fitness journey with Fitbod today, and your future self will thank you. Get 25% off your membership at fitbod.me/Pat. That's fitbod.me/PAT. 25% off at fitbod.me/Pat. This is really cool, really awesome. Now's the time to get into shape with our friends at Fitbod. Speaking of culture, the NFL is upping the amount of international players they're hoping for by making it a much easier process. They're having a European combine, a Mexican combine, and then if you perform well enough at those, you'll come to America and go through an entire process. Tom Pelissero, the Arrow, who read this directly from a memo and then was able to put it up on Twitter quicker than everybody else. The man is a machine, an actual robot, maybe even a
Cyborg.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's cyberlinked in.
Yeah, cyberlink.
Neuralink.
Neuralink, there it is, from the NFL. Tom Pelissero is reporting the NFL International Combine will take place on October 12th at London's Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Hey, let's go Spurs!
Come on, you Spurs!
Come on, you Spurs!
Come on, you Spurs!
With select players advancing to train in the U.S. and potentially being allocated to NFL teams for the 2022 season, another combine will be held later in October in Mexico. This is a massive part of the NFL's worldwide growth, is getting players from every country, basically. We got a Chilean tight end. Obviously, this is a picture of Bjorn Vanne of Germany, who left his high school and came over here and lived with somebody. I mean, it has become a process in a lot of people's dreams around the world. The NFL is trying to make it easier because the NFL knows the more international players you have, the more fans internationally you have. You see, and that is what we are trying to accomplish. Australia is becoming an absolute breeding ground for punters, and now can everywhere kind of start becoming that. That's what the NFL hopes. Get some players in there, get some dreams come true, get some hopes, get some opportunities. Then you start getting little smaller camps, maybe in these countries, and then the game grows, and all of a sudden soccer's the number 2 sport in all those other those other countries.
That's Goddamn right.
That's what's probably going to happen.
And just another Olympic sport for us to dominate.
Bingo. And then we also have football in the Olympics, and we're going over to Barcelona, and we're saying, hey, is Messi here? Messi isn't here. Barcelona now loses. I mean, that is just, that is what the NFL will do. Isn't that right, Gump? Oh, he's muted.
I wonder if Harry Kane will be kicking footballs at Tottenham Hotspur.
He said something he's thinking about doing right in the future or whatever.
Sweet.
Not every soccer player can just jump over to kicking footballs, though. No. I would like that to be known. And I am tired of the disrespect from the soccer community. This guy can come kick balls, blah, blah, blah. He can't.
Yeah.
And if he could, he would when he retires because they're paying good and you don't have to do much. Now, there are some soccer players that transition very easily into the game. Okay, my swing was a very natural fit for the football, but I've seen plenty of great soccer players with big legs not be able to kick a football at all. And maybe they'll be able to work at it and get there. If you have leg speed, I guess you have a chance. But that's 2 different swings now. Talking about a round ball instead of an oblong ball.
Exactly.
We're talking about a sweet spot that's about that big versus a sweet spot that's about that big. I mean, you're talking about 2 different games here. Two different styles of life, too. If you're
Pressure's on Bjorn as well. He better start fucking coaching his ass off because his guy's got a chance now, and if they don't make it, it's on him.
Yeah. Absolutely.
He needs to look himself in the mirror every morning.
That's right. He needs to go. 9 for me. 2 for you.
Yeah.
9 for no.
Put the paddle down.
Yeah, that's right. Let them know over there in Germany. We need some more players. Joining us now is an American from Ohio, although a lot of people in Ohio will have a lot of questions about this man potentially missing 5 of his last 8 days of work.
Wow. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Had to serve America here this week, so I guess we kind of understand how this goes. Ladies and gentlemen, college football national champion, Super Bowl champion, and Ryder Cup participant, AJ Hawk.
Yeah, AJ!
What's going on,
What's up, guys?
Hey, I was talking to some Ohio people.
Hey, good job with Peyton and Eli, by the way. Honestly, I don't know if you've talked about it. I thought it was great. You were very entertaining for everybody, I think.
Thank you so much. It was not easy. You know, the tech thing, I think we experience it every day. You experience it much more than I do, obviously, because you're the only one that's out of the room and everybody's in the room. So it can be a little bit difficult. But you had to come in there with, you have to come in there, I think, and then get out and then come in. There was a couple awkward moments, but they just let me play the hits in there. So I had a great time, AJ. I appreciate you. Did you watch it last night or this morning?
No, I actually watched it live. The game went, like the first half, I feel like went pretty quick. So I'm like, all right, Pat's going to be on here before I know it. And it was still decently late. But once you started, you were on there so long, I wasn't going to just all of a sudden turn off and go to bed halfway through.
I was struggling, and to be honest, the only way I made it through was my Celsius energy drink.
Shout out.
Joining the Manning cast was amazing, but it was tough to stay up until the fourth quarter. Our friends at Celsius Energy saw that and knew they had to help me out for Aaron Rodgers Tuesday today, and they definitely are.
Hell yeah.
The turnaround was too quick to set up a Celsius promo code for you all, but that just means it's the perfect time to remind you that they also brought us the amazingly delicious fast protein bars. They have 2 great flavors, the salted caramel peanut crunch, which is delicious, and white chocolate cookies and cream. 20 grams of protein, less than 2 grams of sugar, low carb. And for a limited time, when you go to Amazon.com at the link in the description of this YouTube.com/Pat McAfee Show video and use promo code 20StartFast, that's 20StartFast, you get 20% off your order. This offer will expire soon, so get your fast. I mean, they're fucking unbelievable. Are they calling them protein bars? They are calling them. They're not protein bars.
They're candy bars.
Yeah.
They're unbelievably. And AJ, I think you even ruined a couple of these when you were in the office, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
I ate a few of them, yes.
Well, yeah, but then you left the wrapper
Right,
everywhere.
crumbs all
Yeah,
over your desk.
it's
Disgusting. That's not true.
it's-
First off,
it's
bring a
actually-
trash can in that studio, bud, too. There needs to be a trash
There's
can.
one right here.
Right there, and right outside. Yeah.
Open your eyes.
I mean,
dude.
unbelievable. But what you won't throw into that trash can is anything that resembles the fast protein bars, because once you see how soft and delicious they are, they're not supposed to be that delightful as they are. Go to Amazon.com, link in our description, and use 20StartFast for 20% off your order right now. Expires soon. Shout out to Celsius. I mean, they did bring me alive last night. I do appreciate that. What's the shirt you're wearing there, pal?
Oh, boy.
What am I wearing today? Oh, this guy? That's an old American guitarist.
You know.
What's his name?
Oh, this is actually my Chuck Berry shirt. I have a couple other old musicians. This one's Chuck Berry.
Is there any reason for the Chuck Berry shirt, or just
No,
you
I've
like
had a
his
few.
music?
I mean, I've had a lot of different artists. I have different shirts on those. I don't always wear them on the show, but this one just happened to come up today.
Yeah, it just happened to.
Yeah, just so happened. I mean, we haven't talked about Chuck Berry in some time.
Orlando.
Months.
And AJ was pissed. AJ was so mad. Well,
It wasn't like by design. It just happened.
Oh, yeah. Shit,
I
Dude,
bet.
you happened to show up. Someone placed
Dude, you got a hot topic. You shop like a 12-year-old. How do you have a Chuck Berry shirt
Come on.
I have
ready
another
to
one,
go?
too. I have 2.
Of course you do. Of course you do. All right, let's get to it. Last night, Aaron Rodgers is back. Can you change your shirt? I mean, how?
This is absurd.
Done with this shit, Hawk.
And his guitar, like, if you actually look, like, it kind of looks like it's.
Oh, yeah.
It does.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I just like his music.
Yeah,
I
of
can't
course.
kiss you, baby.
Yeah, he's creative, obviously. Last night, Aaron Rodgers came all the way back. And he said last week, everybody needs to relax. He was getting attacked for being too calm, too relaxed, too comfortable. On our interview, I actually told him, like, hey, people are going to be mad that you're not, sweating and yelling right now after that loss to the Saints 38-3 opening week, especially with how the offseason was. And he basically just said, hey, we got 16 more games. Everybody needs to chill out. We've had a couple of these, all right, and then we always bounce back. They did in a large way. Defense got some big stops, although there was some key mistakes as well, and I don't know what the Lions team is in the end, but it felt like Aaron in that offense was rolling AJ Hawk.
I mean, that throw to Tanyan that you saw Peyton, Peyton almost fell out of his chair. That was like, especially when you watch the replay, it's great coverage by the backer, but it's true. If your head's turned, the quarterback that is as good as Aaron's like, oh, he's open. He's not looking at me or the ball, so I can sneak this thing right over his shoulder. But, man, yeah, he looked like he was just dialed in from the jump. I wasn't sure if their defense would hold up for 4 quarters, but I think they played much better in the second half.
I think so, too, and that's because Matt LaFleur got the boys fired up. He told Matt LaFleur told Joe Barry, allegedly, he said, hey, get pressure on Goff or drop back into coverage. And Joe Barry said, that fires me up. And then the second half, the defense played a lot better. That
Did they both say this happened?
Some beat reporter tweeted it after the game, yeah.
Yeah, so allegedly this did happen. Who knows if that's exactly how it went, but I like the fact that Joe Barry's getting fired up because Matt LaFleur's like, hey, you're going to have to fucking do something. That fires me up. Yeah, I'm going to start calling better game. You know what I mean?
But do you really think LaFleur said, hey, either dial up some pressure or drop into coverage? Okay, as opposed to what? That's what we're already doing, is one of those.
Well, I wonder if LaFleur just looked at him and goes, are we even trying? Are we even trying? I wonder if that's what LaFleur did. LaFleur, some FaceTime on him last night with the intentional grounding and then the celebration and the crowd ramping up the crowd.
Watch, the yellow banded watch is nice.
What is that supposed to mean?
No, I mean nothing. There's no inside joke. I'm just saying he wears that watch with the sweet yellow band. I don't see other coaches. Does it have to be a Nike? I'm wondering if it has to be licensed or something.
Okay, he has great swag. I think is what
First off, you guys are diving way. Everything I say doesn't have 14
Well, there's no reason to mention his watch. There had to be a
I
reason.
noticed it because other coaches don't wear them.
You're wearing a Chuck Berry T-shirt, AJ. And, you know what I mean?
It's hard. It's hard to take you serious, but it was great.
No more jokes from me.
Yeah.
But we don't know if that's real or not. What you just said. That's
I told you it was.
You tell us what is real.
Come on, man. Football. Let's go.
Yeah, let's not forget this guy bet on the Lions last night.
Oh, you did? 10-4.
Hands up. I'm 10-4. I know. Hey, you were right, man. With the cover, I know you were worried about it for a little bit. I don't know. There was a bet that I didn't mind making because I'm like, okay, cool. They covered. I want the Packers to do well. I am very biased in this situation, so I was okay losing that one.
That's smart. People have been telling Foxy to do that for a long time. Just bet on the other team against the Lions, and then if the Lions win, wow, celebration. And if the other team wins, I'm making money off this. It's classic fan betting, and some people say that it's hypocritical because you're kind of putting in the universe that you want the other team to win. So are you actually a fan? But really, I feel like you're just a smart degenerate in that entire thing. You ended the weekend 10-4. I think you should be pretty proud going into week 2, especially going into the Ryder Cup. Now, have we learned anything else? Is this going to be on TV? Are we going to be able to watch you play golf against the Euros, as you call them, just European human beings over there?
No, I don't think any of it is going to be on any kind of TV or streaming or whatever. It's just going to be there for the people there, I guess. And then, but they did say I think they're going to have people. They'll give me any videos or photography they take of me, so I can use that. I'm sure I'll be posting all the time. You know that.
Yeah, you're a big poster, big social media guy, especially with your new influencer T-shirt of Chuck Berry there. Packers, is this going to be something we're just going to see going forward, do you think? Yeah, I believe so.
But Niners next, right?
Yeah, tough game.
Sunday Night Football.
That'll be good. We'll see who they are,
San
I think, a little
Francisco,
bit.
Sunday Night Football.
Is it last time they played them, that NFC Championship game, where they gave up 183 yards?
They played them
happened
last
again
year
last
with
year.
COVID on a Thursday night. The Niners had 9 guys go out with COVID, and the Packers routed them.
In Green Bay or in
No,
San
it was
Fran?
in San Francisco.
How come they're going out to San Fran so much, you think? What's that all about?
I don't know. The 2 previous times were because the Niners were the number 1 seed. But
That's fascinating because we always had to go up to fucking New England there with Peyton. Towards the end, we always had to go up to New England, every single year. I wonder if it's because the Niners and the Packers are so high, the schedule makers are like, let's do this thing. It's in Santa Clara.
Yep.
And the Niners are fully healthy right now?
No, they got a lot of injuries.
They
at
are
running back.
decimated running
Their
back.
top 3 running backs. I think Mostert's out for the year with that knee injury. Their next 2 guys, Sermon got concussion. Mitchell has a knee injury, I believe.
Their
and now-
secondary's banged up.
Yeah, secondary's banged up. They signed this dude off the Bengals practice squad, though. Look out.
Okay, so this is a good test for the Green Bay Packers team. I think this is, and I don't think they're going to know what they're going to be until week 7, week 8, maybe. You know what I mean? I don't think any team really has any idea right now, but these are good things for you to rely on and to turn back and look at later in the season. Them being able to bounce back from 38-3 to doing what they did on Monday Night Football, they'll be able to talk about that later if they have another unfortunate loss. Hey, this happens, let's keep it going. That's why that steady mindset of your quarterback is paramount, although everybody seemed to hate it just last week. I can't wait to see what he's like today, AJ.
Oh, I think he'll be just as he always is today, win or lose. But that mindset, if you do freak out and panic and get on the roller coaster that is an NFL season, that's contagious. Then everybody around you starts to panic. Oh wait, some young guy, my position coach is freaking out, saying the head coach is going to kill him. So then it just has a trickle-down effect to everybody, and it's true. It's a long year, man. You can't do that.
Yeah, and it's interesting because there's 2 different ways to look at it. There's some teams that celebrate obviously heavy, and then if you celebrate heavy, then what does that mean you have to do when you lose, right? That means you have to equally take it as hard, because if a win in a regular season, week 2 or week 3, gives you enough, empowers you enough to celebrate in a massive way, then it also carries enough weight to devastate you then, right? Potentially. And as a young guy, and we overreact now on Monday, when I was younger, I used to live and die with literally every punt that I had. It was because I didn't know if I was going to continue to be on the team or not. So literally every punt, I kind of lived and died with it. And then once you start to watch what other people, like Jim Caldwell and Peyton Manning, Dallas Clark, Gary Brackett, Jeff Saturday, Robert Mathis, Freeney, all these people, once you see them kind of set the tone, hey, relax, dude. You're going to have another one. And if it's good, great. And if it stinks, get it next time. It's that type of mentality was kind of through the entire building. And it's just like that type of culture, I think, is the winning culture. But every team's trying to get there. And can you get there without excitement, without that whole thing? I'm not 100% sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't. I mean, you can definitely, like, you should celebrate every win. They always talk about how hard it is to win a game in the NFL. And if you're on a winning team and you beat a team that you were favored by 14 or something afterwards, like, hey, your coach is going to, it's tough to win a game in the NFL. You know that, guys. We don't take any of these for granted, but they do, because then the next second he's like, all right, flush this one. We're on to the next one. We have a big one next week. And then, okay, we celebrated for about 12 seconds.
I love the classic, like, we have 24 hours.